Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have another thread discussion video. It's going to be a little longer video. We have some dev replies, as we can see right here. I got all of them in different tabs. But the thread pretty much is we need alliances, and yeah, it's going to be talking about alliances and stuff of that nature, diplomacy and all of that. We're going to read this, we're going to read some of the what the players have to say, and then we're going to read what the devs have to say, and we're going to go from there. Hopefully it's informational and all of that. Like I said before, I'm going to link this down below for if you want to read this for yourself. But without further ado, let's get to it. So first player asks, why is there no alliances in game? That would be amazing. Imagine having allies that defending you and fight with you. And imagine the two strongest factions getting an alliance and also true. It'd also be amazing if you're thinking about it. Oh, okay, he linked another dev reply, so let's see what this dev reply states. It seems nobody's sleeping today. I'm thinking about this stuff for a while, too. Instead of nerfing Kazate's bonuses, it seems like the real solution to all these problems can be alliances. Let leave game start unbalanced, and if one faction starts to be a problem for others, capture the settlements, and they, at least two other factions, should move together to stop this enemy. After they succeed this, they can end their alliance and continue game individually. Okay, so he states instead of nerfing Kazates, when they start to become a problem, two guys will gang up on them and pretty much normalize the game again. Makes sense. So yeah, that could be a way to counteract, right? However, problem is in this solution has really workload and need good AI stuff, even in map and deciding alliances. Okay, so he states that this this solution of making alliances would require a lot of work, obviously, and obviously you need the AI to make good decisions when deciding alliances. So obviously the two strongest factions don't join an alliance because that would be kind of strong. Different faction armies and parties will think together and join their map events /sieges /raids, and they will take war /peace declarations decisions together. However, this will be a masterclass solution to all problems, and if implemented, good game can be even 90+ rating, and this will be real diplomacy the game needs. True, because you can form it around alliances. You can, you can form all the diplomacy things around the alliances, right? So like how you get the alliances, how you can break the alliances, how you can work behind someone's back, all that stuff. It can be built off this whole alliance concept. I do not know what will be decided for next, and I will be away for a time. He's on vacation right now, if you didn't know. I know this is not the right time of development. We should already need to know this. However, everybody in the company should read this post and all ideas and find results here before deciding the next step. Anyway, good night. Alrighty. So, yeah, so it seems like they still haven't started working on it. But one of the developers says that they need to push and get to it, which I agree. And hopefully they do. I hope they do it right so there's actually checks for alliances so Vlandia and Kazates can't ally and just become pain to the world, and maybe like an alliance lasts only a year or more if you pay the nation more. You know what I would like? I guess like a more basic way of making it into alliances, if two kingdoms join together, right? They you just incorporate both their names into the kingdom thing and kind of make them all under one kingdom. But then again, with that problem is how do you separate them when they break that lines? You know what I mean? So I don't have a complete solution on how to do this to make maybe the coding easier, but I do agree with the overall concept that alliances do need to be in the game. The Empire factions can't form alliances. They're in the state in civil war. True. Let's see what else. So there's a mod, but it's not working right now. Okay. There needs to be more factions to make alliances work. I agree with that too. I think they need to, one thing they need to do is they need to really, I think, overhaul mercenaries and how they work in general. I don't really like how they can just jump there, jump there, jump there every 2 seconds. You know what I mean? I feel like there should be like, I don't know. I think with mercenaries, like let's say you're paying them, right? Like 400 per influence or whatever, right? And they get an offer of 500. I think they should send a writer out to you and be like, hey, we got an offer for 500, but if you give us 600, we'll continue working under you, or something like that, right? Like there should, I don't know. I feel like they have to like redo that process, because sometimes you hire mercenaries and they're gone literally the next day, like the next in-game day, and it's kind of frustrating. And obviously you need to find the what's his name? You need to find the captain to obviously initiate it. And I feel like there should be a overall better way. You know what I mean? There should be kind of like a mercenary search somewhere, like a mercenary search window, and then obviously you pick the mercenaries you want, and then you. I feel like, okay, hear me out. Like a lot of ideas are in my head right now. It's kind of late. It is what it is. But I'm thinking in terms of mercenaries and even lords in general. I think we seriously need the option of a meeting, to organize a meeting. And what I mean by that, I don't know if this will be hard to code, but here's exactly what I mean. So if you ever want to talk to a lord or a mercenary or this or that, right? Obviously, you have to have, let's say you have to have a fief for this to kind of make this, at least a little bit balanced. So let's say you have to have a fief, and what you do in these situations when you want to order a meeting is pretty much you invite the lord to meet at your fief, right? And then the Lord, pretty much, if he's not doing anything, or once he's done doing what he has to do, he makes his way over to the meeting, right? I think I know sometimes they wouldn't show up because they don't like you, or sometimes this and that, or you can kind of like organize a meeting and send gold as you're organizing it with the person who, I don't know how to explain this. There's a lot of thoughts in my head, but I think organize a meeting, right? And if they don't like you, you can send extra gold for them to meet with you. They can choose to decline it, but I think overall it's a way better solution than trying to find the head of clans and the head of mercenaries right now. I feel like if you can invite them to, let's say, like a meeting or like a mini feast or whatever, and they can show up, they'll show up in your keep, and then you can talk to them and then do what you have to do. I think that would be a lot better. I feel like that's a feature that we do need as soon as possible, in my opinion. Some form of that. Doesn't have to be exactly how I stated it, but some form of just, initiating a meeting without looking all over the map for them, right? I think that would be pretty cool. Alrighty. It went really off topic, but I feel like we need that feature. Alright. Alright, so here's the dev reply. Yes, game needs alliances. This was obvious, and most of us come to the conclusion at Diplomacy Development's thread. True. I offered alliances ideas to Armagon 2. It is party accepted, but we will talk about details at October. I offered when there's an alliance, 2+ allied factions should be able to make a siege to a fortification together, or they should join battles on the map when allied kingdom parties is attacked, or they can defend allied settlements so they can get more open slots at settlements of allied kingdoms. Plus, we should find negative side effects. Okay, so they're saying that it has been accepted by the developers, right? And it is partly accepted. Okay, so partially accepted. So some developers are on it. They want it to happen, but they said they're going to talk more about it in October. Okay, so fingers crossed. Hopefully it works. And they're saying how alliances would work. Obviously, they would attack together, defend, or stuff of that nature. And obviously, they need to do some testing to find the negative side effects. Okay. This feature will probably increase battle variety on game, which will result in better gameplay experience and will slow down snowballing. Nobody makes alliances with the most powerful factions, which again results in better and more balanced gameplay experience. True. It would make it more dynamic. Obviously, more things could happen in games and stuff of that nature. I agree with this. In my opinion, biggest problem with alliances feature will be what will its negative effect? What will stop factions making alliances all the time? There should be a cost or some other negative effect. Otherwise, making alliances will be always logical. One possible solution is there can be a cost which both allied parties pay, and it can be more expensive when factions are stronger. There can be more side effects. I don't know. I don't know if they should be punished like severely, like if they hold an alliance and they're bigger. I don't know. That's a hard question, right? I feel like the AI should make a decision of like if we're big enough, then it's time to take some land. If we kind of just want to chill out and kind of rebuild our forces, we make an alliance. Or if we're being attacked by, let's say, two enemies at the same time, we want to make an alliance so they could help us attack, something like that. I feel like they should have like that type of like, I guess, thought process, right? Or that if and statements in the code. I think that would be kind of how I would like it, but that would be very hard to do, obviously. Okay, I think your suggestion is great, but there's an underlying problem with larger factions are usually richer factions that stay at peace are usually richer. These factions could still hoard alliances and make the game instead a lot more fun. Less fun is declaring war as a faction, mean declaring on like 2-3 factions kind of broken, maybe an alliance or something. Is this one sentence? Bro, there's no periods in the sentence. Jesus Christ, dog. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to skip this. I can't read this. I'm sorry. Let's go to the next. Yeah, man, I cannot. Jesus Christ. It looks like he's just spitting out ideas and stuff that could possibly happen. Jesus, man, that's a big old block of one sentence. But all right, let's move on to the next. What's it called? Dev reply. All right, so here's about criticisms. Let's read this first. Alliances could work. Factions use influence to flex and call other members into army and change votes. Similarly, there should be a pool of kingdom influence for inter-kingdom diplomacy. Spend kingdom influence to enact trade deals, or for a short time call an army from an allied kingdom to war. The power of the army they pledge should be dependent on influence and money spent. Other factors would contribute our relative military power of kingdom, and if they are at war, depending on these kingdoms, they will not agree, and money and kingdom influence would be too high. Assembled allied armies would burn kingdom's influence and disband once depleted. Yeah, I guess influence will play a part. I feel like there should be different types of alliances. Maybe like trade alliances where I feel like there should be different types of alliances, like ones where they benefit from trade, ones where they benefit from, let's say, having extra military power and stuff of that nature. But I don't think they should disband once it depletes. I don't know if that's the way to go. Inclusion of trade deals would remove ability of caravans to do business in towns outside of native kingdom unless trade deal is placed. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to get to right there. Alternative above for those with trade deal, or nerf for those without. Maybe instead kingdoms get additional coin for every caravan from each trading partner kingdoms. Lending armies and having multiple trade deals allows kingdoms to prevent wars and possibly stabilize the map. True. There also needs to be kingdom opinion to determine likelihood of war/peace, alliance, and trade. There should be a factor: recent wars, current trade deals, popular opinion, faction leader opinion, shared border, common enemy. They do have it. The AI does have this when they decide war or peace. These all kind of go into an equation of them deciding yes or no to peace. Pool of influence would be gained from defending other kingdoms, releasing lords, engaging with enemies, winning wars, capturing towns, and marriage. Long-term alliances between powerful kingdoms must be prevented. This is why more short-term negotiations that require finite influence are needed. Trade deals, army lending are viable short-term options for inter-kingdom diplomacy. Okay. So about criticisms. All right, so the developers here. Yes, it is late for deciding adding that big feature. Sometimes I think how we can add alliance feature and I realize different problems. That's why I cannot join discussions for now. I need to think all the problems all together. For example, what will be the side effects and costs of announcing a new alliance? What will happen if one alliance is ended? Suddenly war peace calculation scores will change and this will trigger new wars to start. So there will have to be more war peace declarations, which is not good for stability of the game / bad for gameplay. How will there be diplomacy screen UI for allied factions? Okay, so obviously new screens have to be made. Obviously the war and peace would kind of have to be rewritten in a way so alliances could fit in there as well, which is true. And this developer states that it is a big feature and it is kind of late. And he does think about it a lot. Okay. How will diplomacy... Okay, we read that. What will happen when alliance is declared if there are existing wars or tribute payments, including factions with declared alliance? There are tons of different problems, and we need to find answers to them before we start coding. Also, if we cannot solve these problems in a good way, we cannot add this feature, and that's why I cannot give 100% guarantee for adding alliance feature for now. Okay, so obviously before they want to start coding, they want to have kind of an answer to most of the problems they most of the problems that they are thinking about right now. Okay, which we had all game design 8 years ago. When we start this project, we followed that design document. Probably we could finish games sooner if that kind of development is followed. If this was the case, all these problems would be already solved. We are trying to add features one by one, and this is not the best way to create a detailed game like Bannerlord because all different features are connected to each other, and we should think all together, not one by one. Adding features one by one is dangerous, can break existing mechanics. However, Warband is also developed that way too, and it was a great game. Even Warband example, I think, is a hard way to develop a game. Okay, so they're stating that they are doing it one by one right now, which isn't the best way to do it, but they did it before and it did work. But at the same time, you know, he states it is a hard way to develop. And then he goes, actually, I'm not a diplomacy guy. Also, my responsible areas are general campaign AI, army and party AI, economy and trade, recruit systems, food/money management of parties and clans. That's a lot, actually. Jesus. But, okay. I did not work at diplomacy features for Warband also. It was obvious diplomacy side of Bannerlord was very weak, and players want developments at diplomacy, so I wanted to help development at August start. Okay, so he started, so we obviously started examining those parts, and we have received some changes, and also that big thread with a lot of information on diplomacy. However, I am not the real owner of these parts. Criticisms are right, but they are not helping our current situation. True. Okay. Hey, they made great games in the 90s. Heck, even more interesting in today's standards, where battle royales seem like the most innovative thing that has ever happened to mankind. Big truer. Oh, here we go. I'm not even gonna read this, but y'all can pause it and read this. Oh my god. See, we could have kept it at discussions. We could have had a good discussion about it, but then this happens. You know what I mean? Yeah, alright, let's read the last reply from the developers and we're gonna end it off. Okay. So Mexico, has alliances not been brought up by the team in the past that you are aware of? There are blocks of code that deal with alliances that have been in the code since release. So I had assumed that they were at least considered previously, or were they just put in as a preemptive just in case type situation? Here are the bits I'm referring to. So obviously there is code that has to do with alliances. See, is allied with faction? Is allied? Yeah, so they do have declare alliance. So they do have alliance code, right? Yes, I see the codes too. I'm not sure, but they seem just in case. There is currently no design for alliances, which I know at least. And there it is. And then he says, thanks, Blood Griffin. I'll examine mod you shared. What's the mod that he shared? Let's see if I can find it. Oh my god, it's a lot. Jesus Christ. I'm guessing you added an alliance thing. Honestly, this mod did it very well. Okay, so understandably, it's much appreciated through experience. There it is. Honestly, this mod did it very well. Just going through the change logs takes you along the journey and issues I ran into and changes made. I'm going to summarize that I'm basically taking away from them and provide the key change notes for each of its updates. Let's go look at this real quick. Alrighty, so I'm kind of looking through this mod, and it looks like obviously you have an alliance system. So you can form an alliance. There's a form alliance button. It requires a specific score based on different factors, as you can see. Okay, then you see the alliances right here. We got non-aggression pacts. You can propose, form stuff. You can grant fiefs to people, kind of in a way to, you know, ask them for an alliance. Looks cool. Looks very cool. And as a capturer of Barcelona, you have the right of first refusal. Would you like to claim this fief? And you can accept or decline fief. That's very cool. Yeah, very cool. Alrighty. So I guess he stated this and how he did the change logs, and I'm pretty sure that helps the developers look at it and see how they did it. Again, this is good. That other stuff that we just read is not that good, but this is good. You know what I mean? Like this will really help. You know what I mean? In the long run, it does help to just give good creative criticism. You know, actually provide something like that if you want to join the conversation, right? But yeah, hopefully this was informative. Ask me any questions, any concerns. Like I said before, I am going to link this down below if you guys want to read about it. But that was kind of the Alliance talk and Alliance, what do you call it? Thread discussion. Like always, guys, stay safe.